I'm the hotel manager. Every other place, I'm the camp director of Beersheba Springs Assembly. So that when we're up here, I run the hotel, but really we run a retreat center. This is a Christian retreat center, as you probably know. The United Methodist Church bought it in 1941, just prior to World War II, which is interesting because the hotel was built just prior to the Civil War. So in spite of some bad timing, it's still here. So what I know, and some of you probably know a good deal more than I do, is that originally this was Cherokee land up through the 1820s. When the Cherokees lost the rights to the land, I'd like to say that they sold it, because there's some people that said it was a sale, but they kind of got cheated out of it. And this was not just this property, but a lot of other property. And it became open to settlement. The United States originally didn't want this part of the state to be settled, or it wasn't a state at the time, because they wanted a buffer between the French and the colonies. So having American Indians out here was a great buffer, but it didn't work. People settled the land anyway, and finally it was bought up. So when the land was sold, the United States government sold it in big blocks. 640 acres would be the smallest you could buy, and the average person couldn't afford to buy that much land. So speculators moved in, and they would buy big chunks of land, and then they would chop it into smaller pieces and sell it off. Originally, the land that was up here didn't have any trees on it. The Cherokee burned everything off every year, so this was all fields as far as the eye can see for the whole county area. The trees came much later. Beersheba Kane, who lived in McMinnville, her husband was making a land deal with one of these speculators. Her husband also worked in land, and the meeting took place at a cabin down the bottom of the hill here. And she didn't want to hang around for the meeting, so she and probably a few other people went for a hike and hiked up the hill just to see what it would look like. And she came across a spring. And the spring has iron deposits in it, and was considered to be healthy. There are a number of other springs that are around the country, so they still exist. And it was considered that if you drank this water, it was good for your health. It actually gave you diarrhea, but that's another story. And the spring location is just down the road here. There's a little yellow house out here, and just off to the left you'll see a big hole, and that's where the spring was. In the 1920s, when the road was being built down here, which is not where it was supposed to be built, but some politicians got involved and decided to build this crazy switchback system that's down here. The blasting that took place disrupted the ground, and the spring was lost, so the spring fell down through. When Beersheba Kane came up here, she built a cabin for herself, and she built another cabin for a physician friend of hers. There's some speculation that the other cabin and the deal made with the physician was that so she could get him to say how healthy the water was, and then people would show up here and stay overnight. In this log row area that's right out here, there's a whole bunch of log rows, part of the original buildings that people would stay in. And in all probability, the log building that's right around the corner outside the door here were the original two log homes, one for the physician and one for Beersheba Kane. And they were probably right here. Armfield purchased the property, I think in 1857, but just prior to the Civil War. He was a former slave trader and tons of money, and decided this would be a good business opportunity. So he purchased the property to develop it into a hotel resort. And it was a resort for sort of the wealthy, the rich and famous of the time, people who had enough money to be able to leave their summer homes in places like Memphis, where there was a lot of malaria that took place every summer, and to come up here and get the fresh air, get the spring water, and just get away for a little while and hang out with other people who were of the same kind of means. So Armfield then moved these two houses over here, tore all this out. He had a couple thousand acres up here. It's multi-thousand, might have been 10,000, but I may be wrong on that. So he basically bought the whole area, built a sawmill, had some slave labor, had all kinds of labor, some of you guys are apparently related to. And they built the hotel here, which opened in 1858, the dining hall, which is right next door, the ballroom that's above the dining room, which is still there, and rearranged the quad the way it is right now. This brick row was built about that time, and the log row stayed where it is. The guess is that log row is where Franklin Pierce stayed when he was a resident here for several nights. He was the governor of Tennessee, not the president yet, so a few important people have shown up here now and then, and we still have important people here like you guys. If you want, I can walk around a little bit and show you some of the stuff and get into some of the places if you're interested.
Can we see the ballroom? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I think I can get you in there. I think I have a key.
I believe the way the story goes is that Benjamin Silas Cagle played the banjo before he got married and all that. But he was also the foreman, what we might call the foreman.
That's great.
Who helped build, or that was in charge of the crew
Right.
there. And so if we might be
Sure.
possibly where he was playing the banjo.
Absolutely, yeah. We can go up there first.